It's time to kick off week number 6 of the 2023 Madden NFL season. Before we get into week 6, here's a look at the updated standings after week 5. Heading into week 6, there are only 2 undefeated teams left, and there is still only one team that is looking for their first win in 2023. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started. Kicking off week number 6, our Thursday night matchup, you'll see the 2-3 Broncos take on the undefeated 5-0 defending Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, the Broncos did everything they could to win this game, but the Chiefs, they survived and they win 29-17. So the Chiefs, they remain perfect. They will now improve to 6-0, and the Broncos are going to drop to 2-4. But it was a good performance today by the Broncos. Up next is our third straight London game, as we'll see our other undefeated team, the Baltimore Ravens, take on the Tennessee Titans. And the Ravens are also going to remain perfect as they win 28-17. The Titans gave them a little run for their money, but the Ravens were able to hang on. They improved to 6-0. The Titans are going to drop to 1-5. So our 2 undefeated teams are going to live another week as they're going to go into week number 7 still unbeaten. On to the 1 o'clock window now is the first game you'll see in the 1 o'clock window. You'll see the 2-3 Carolina Panthers taking on the 4-1 Miami Dolphins. Well, the Dolphins' offense did struggle in the game, but in the fourth quarter, their offense stepped up, and they were able to get the win 21-17. So the Dolphins are going to improve to 5-1, and the Panthers, they had a shot, but then they punted away, which I don't understand why they did that with like 3 minutes to go. But now the Panthers are going to be 2-4. Next up, we'll see the 2-3 Saints take on the 1-4 Texans. The Saints are going to get a nice bounce back win. They win 27-17, so the Texans are going to drop to 1-5, and the Saints are going to improve to 3-3, and they have a shot to go, and they have a shot to be first in the NFC South, depending on how the Falcons do, as we're going to see the Falcons up next. Up next, like I mentioned a couple of seconds ago, we'll see the Atlanta Falcons, which I did look up a few minutes ago, and I found out even if the Falcons do win, they won't be in first in the NFC South because the Saints do have a division win. So that's going to have to wait another week as they'll take on the Washington Commanders. And the Falcons get a dominating win. They win 38-13 over the Commanders. So the Commanders are going to drop to 4-2. And the Falcons, they're going to improve to 3-3. Like I mentioned, they won't take first in the NFC South because the Saints have the head-to-head tiebreaker because of their conference win, and the Falcons don't have one yet. So Saints will be first in the NFC South, but right now, Falcons, they're tied for first. But congrats on the Falcons on a dominating win, though. Up next, we got a big game, battle for first in the AFC South, and a Gardner Minshew revenge game because, unfortunately, Anthony Richardson is out again. But we're going to see my Indianapolis Colts take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, the Jags missed the extra point to tie the game, but luckily they were able to make it up by getting a game-winning field goal, so the Jags get the win 19-17. So the Jags will improve to 4-2, and they'll be first in the AFC South, and the Colts are going to drop to 3-3, and it looks like the curse is even real in Madden. Indianapolis just cannot win in Jacksonville. Up next, we'll see the 2-2 Seahawks take on the 3-2 Bengals. The Bengals tried to make a comeback at the end, but at the end of the day, it was all Seahawks. They went 45-30, got a high-scoring game. So the Seahawks are going to improve to 3-2, and the Bengals, they're going to drop down to 500 as now they are 3-3. Next up, we're going to see the Vikings, who's going to be without their leading receiver, Justin Jefferson, for this game, and probably for the next couple weeks, as the Vikings will take on their division rivals, the Chicago Bears. So without Justin Jefferson was a little bit of an issue for the Vikings, but the Vikings do survive. They win 26-24, so the Vikings will improve to 3-3, and the Bears are going to drop to 2-4. Up next, we'll see the 49ers, who need to win bad if they want to keep their season alive, as they'll take on the Browns, who will not only have Nick Chubb out, but will now have Deshaun Watson out. So they're going to have to go without those two. Well, it was ugly for the 49ers, but they get a nice comeback, and they win 30-29 over the Browns. So the 49ers get a much-needed win, as they're going to improve now to 2-4. And the Browns, despite losing today, what a game for Dorian Thompson. He played incredible today, but the Browns are going to fall to 1-4. But Great game for Cleveland today. By the way, I forgot to mention that was the last game in the 1 o'clock window. Now we're on to the 4 o'clock window, as we'll see the Patriots take on the Raiders. Revenge game for Jimmy Garoppolo was a success, as the Raiders get the win 19-17. So the Raiders, they've now won 3 straight. They improved to 3-2. And the Patriots, it's back to the drawing board for them, as now they're going to drop to 3-3. Up next, we'll see the Detroit Lions taking on the Tampa Bay Bucks, who's still looking for its first win of 2023. Unfortunately for the Tampa Bay Bucks, they come close yet again. The Lions, they survive and they win 27-20 in overtime. So the Lions will improve to 3-3, and the Tampa Bay Bucks, unfortunately, they come close yet again, as now they drop to 0-5 and still remain the only team winless in 2023. Up next, we'll see the 2-3 Arizona Cardinals taking on the 3-2 Los Angeles Rams. Well, an interesting turn of events here, as the Rams, they go from getting a huge win over the Eagles last week to being upsetted as Arizona wins 35-23. Shout out the Cardinals, they're now 3-3. And the Rams, after a big win last week, unfortunately for them, they're going to drop to 3-3 now. And our final game in the 4 o'clock window will feature the 3-2 Philadelphia Eagles taking on the 2-3 Jets. And the Jets get a huge win today. They win 34-6 over the defending NFC champions. So the Jets, they end a 3-game losing streak. They're going to improve to 3-3. And as for the Eagles, I don't know what's going on with them, but changes need to be made, because now they've lost 3 straight. And this is now the 2nd week in the row that the Eagles have been blown out. So Philly, you better get it together, because right now you are not playing how you're supposed to be playing. On our Sunday night matchup now, it's the Battle of New York. Even though the Giants play in New Jersey, they still represent New York State. So, we see the Giants take on the Bills. The Bills are going to win the Battle of New York, as they win 24-16 over the Giants. So the Bills are going to improve to 3-3, and the Giants are going to fall to 2-4. And our final game of week number 6, our Monday night matchup, as you'll see the 3-2 Dallas Cowboys taking on the 2-2 Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers tried to make an incredible comeback. They got a touchdown. All they needed is a 2-point conversion to tie the game, but they failed to get it. So the Cowboys hang on and they win 21-19. So the Cowboys are going to improve to 4-2 now, and the Chargers are going to drop to 2-3. And there you have it. Week 6 is in the books. Congratulations to every team that won their game today. Here's a look at the updated standings after week number 6. Not a lot of changes in the AFC. The only major one is in the AFC South. Jaguars are now the new first-place team in the AFC South after defeating the Colts. And the Raiders, they jump up 2 spots after winning 3 straight games. Not a lot of changes here in the NFC neither. The big one, though, the top 2 teams in real-life football in the NFC is not even top 2 in their divisions. You could even add the Lions, too. They look great in real-life football, and they're not even top 2 in the NFC North. But just about every division in the NFC has a lot of drama. And the Bucs sit down at 0-5, still the only team to yet get a win this season. They come close 2 games in a row. We'll see if they can get their first win of the season next week. Speaking of Week 7, there's a look at the Week 7 schedule. A lot of teams got the day off next week. Got some good games coming up. And there will be no London game next week. So every game that will be played in Week 7 will be in the United States. And that's going to do it. I'm Robert Magic, and I'll see you all next week for week number 7. Have a great rest of your day, and enjoy the games this weekend.